EVO.
Pie in the Sky Media. This series contains adult language and descriptions of graphic violence throughout. Listener discretion is advised.
February 24, 2023, 7:47.
Fairfax County 911, where's our emergency? Hello, Fairfax County 911.
That was the sound of a man moaning in agony. And then he was gone. The phone hung up. So that was just the first in a series of 911 calls that were made into the Fairfax, Virginia 911 call center just before 8 a.m. After that, the center tried to call that same number back, but got no answer. But a couple minutes later, another call from that same number comes in.
Fairfax County 911, where's our emergency?
I need help. My friend, she just was stuck in the knife now. She's bleeding hell out. I don't know what to do anymore.
What's your address?
Oh my God.
Take a deep breath for me. Just let me know your address.
132.
Okay, 13. Take a deep breath for me. You're on Stablebrook Way? Are you on Stablebrook Way? Is there somebody else there that can give me the address?
13230 Stablebrook Way.
Okay. And what's your name and what's going on?
My name is Brendan Banfield. I'm a federal agent. This is my house. There's somebody here. I shot him. But he stabbed her. She's bleeding. She's got several marks on her neck. What do I do?
Okay. So what I need you to do is apply direct pressure directly to where she's bleeding from, okay? And if it becomes soaked, just add more cloth to it. It's already there. How old is the person?
I don't know.
The person that's bleeding?
37.
Okay. Okay. So the person that you shot, where is he?
I don't know him.
Okay. Where is he though?
He's here. He's on the ground.
Okay. Okay. And the person that he stabbed, where are they now? Are they still in the house? I have to come to you.
It's my wife.
It's just bleeding. I just don't know what to do.
Okay. So I want you to get a clean cloth and apply direct pressure to where you're bleeding from, okay?
Yep.
Okay. Are you the one that's bleeding? Just keep applying pressure. Don't remove it. If it becomes soaked, just add more cloth to what is already there. Do not use a tourniquet. If one is already on, don't remove it. And don't throw or flush any blood-soaked items, okay? And, sir, I need you not to touch the weapons or disturb the scene at all. And don't touch or remove any impaled object, okay? And, sir, where are you? Are you taking care of the person upstairs?
I'm trying.
I'm trying, but
Okay.
it's so...
Now, as the 911 operator is helping the callers, she has dispatched police to the scene. Here's the body cam recording of one of the officers who gets that call.
Go ahead. You want your if they're inside or outside or where they actually are.
So, this is just after 8 a.m. on February 24th, 2023. Now, you can hear the officer put the pedal to the metal as he races to this address, a home in Reston, Virginia, which is a suburb of Washington, D.C. Now, on his way, he gets bits of information over his laptop, but because he's driving, he's mostly listening to the radio. And he understands that inside the home, there's a woman who's been stabbed multiple times, but there's also a man who's been shot.
50 Bravo, the patient is unconscious. Apparently she was stabbed in the neck. She's upstairs in the bedroom. Then the subject that was shot is in the bedroom.
Now, you can feel the officer's desperation to get through this commuter traffic. He's even frustrated. He knows that with injuries that have been described, every second counts. So the faster he gets there with his kit could make all the difference in the world between life and death for someone. And in this case, two people. It's at this point that he gets another detail from dispatch, that the 911 caller who had requested help had shared that They didn't know the guy who was shot, but they knew the woman who was stabbed and were trying to administer aid to her.
Guys, you gotta go a little faster now.
So apparently the caller doesn't know the subject. The caller's trying to help the female with the...
Drive a lot faster, better.
On 5 Bravo, Fairfax down is due to the wind.
What wind?
Finally, the officer is getting closer to the home as he barrels through the affluent neighborhood past beautifully manicured lawns, wide sidewalks, and pulls up to a 2-story home at the end of a cul-de-sac as he jumps out of his car.
Yeah, you got one? Where's the shooter? Huh?
Shooter's helping the woman right now from a 3. He doesn't know the man that shot.
Which house?
1330.
Even though the details are spare, there's literally no time for hesitation. He opens the front door, not knowing what he's about ready to walk into.
Well, I got voices inside. Let's do something quick. Stack up on me, I guess. County police, call out. Where's the gun at? Where's the gun?
He's up here. He's an officer too. So he just didn't help. This is his whole house.
Anybody else downstairs?
No.
Where's the shot?
His daughter is downstairs. She's just...
Who else? Just us?
Yeah, she's just running out. His daughter.
Guns on the bed. Guns on the bed.
We know now that the woman responding to the police officer is Juliana. She's the family's au pair. The man yelling out from up above in the main bedroom, he's the female victim's husband. His name is Brendan. So the officer sprints up the stairs to the 2nd floor, and he's instantly in it. In the main bedroom, he sees the husband hovering over the victim, who's naked, lying on the bed. It's clear she's been stabbed in the neck multiple times, and he right away starts trying to staunch her wounds as he directs another officer to the man lying on the floor with a gunshot wound to the head and another in his chest.
Watch out, we got it. Catch up. Jesus. Dude, give me a, what can I do to help? Chest seal, give me chest seal. I got a blowout. Yep. Bring it up. Anything I can do to help? What else was she stabbed? Is there any other stab wounds? Tank, come here.
Got something on her hand.
Take. You got something.
There. You do it there. Stand right here.
Yep. She got multiple stab wounds to the neck. Okay. Secure those guns.
Ma'am, I need you outside now.
She's breathing. What do you need? Get medics in here now.
So the woman's voice is the nanny, and then the other man's voice is the husband, Brendan, of the woman who is critically injured. The officer continues to apply pressure to the woman's stab wounds as he speaks to Brendan, who tells the officer that he shot the man on the floor who'd been stabbing his wife.
Who shot?
He grabbed my arm.
Who did?
He grabbed my arm when I started applying.
Okay. Someone get with him. I don't know where he's shot at.
Who's that chest wound seal?
I need it from his neck right now. She got stabbed by him, so someone watch him. Guys, chest seal, now.
We're looking for it, buddy. We're looking for it. He called that.
Up this way.
Upstairs. I need chest seal on her and I'll get it right now.
Just stay right there.
It's a chaotic scene, and it's clear that the officer's number one priority is trying to save the woman who's rapidly bleeding out.
What do you mean? Someone check my pulse for the guy behind me.
Yeah.
She's breathing, so.
We got one guy up here, gunshot wound, one female, multiple stab wounds.
The husband, Brendan, is directed to go into the main bedroom's bathroom to get into the bathtub, and by this time, the au pair has been escorted outside of the house.
Multiple stab wounds on her neck. You ready? As soon as I let go. Let me know when you're ready. Ready? Ready? We missed one. Chest seal. Get another one. There's another half. Ready? Go for it. Yep. Hold it down. Jesus Christ. Just fucking hold pressure. Just sit in the top. You need another chest seal?
Yeah, whatever you have.
Just whatever you got.
Hey, get another ALT, get more blowout kits.
Is it pretty accounted for? Is everybody else in?
Is there anything else that we know of on this?
Car 5 Bravo.
This one and the guy behind me.
Accounted for.
On this female.
I don't know. I do not know. She might have defensive wounds to the hand, but...
It's around this time that the officer noted that the woman who'd been stabbed didn't have any defensive wounds on her hands.
Do we have a pulse on anybody?
I could feel him breathing.
Do you have a pulse on him?
No pulse. CP on, go ahead. Just CP on him.
Yeah, if you don't have anything, start going. Start doing this.
Alright, you guys know? This one, she has a pulse. Alright.
Multiple stab wounds to the neck.
James, where is he? To the right, we have a pulse, multiple stabbings. To the left, you do CPR with a gunshot wound. I felt the pulse when I was holding her neck.
Alright, we have multiple wounds to the neck. We don't know if we have right here.
We don't know any other.
Stab to the neck.
To the neck? Yes.
Don't know if we actually have it.
Don't know if it's one of them inside. We don't know.
Is she still breathing? We can feel blood moving. We can see her. We can see her cheek.
You guys
stop doing CPR on him.
You guys good?
Yeah, we're gonna get her.
Okay. Get them. New wrist.
Yeah, this. Is she breathing over here? She's breathing. That's why we're moving her. Grab him. Take him downstairs.
I can't feel a pulse.
You can't feel. Oh my God. It's hard to feel. No, there's no pulse on him. Nothing. There's nothing. We're in here.
I think that guy's gonna be definitely DOA. I mean, we can. I think that might be obvious over there. Just no. Oh, what do you want to do? Do you want to grab that and go?
We're done. No, this is. She's done.
Someone said she's done, that they'd done everything that they could to save her life. And after this frenzy, it was said with such a calm finality, and it was similar with the man on the floor who had also been pronounced dead. Ultimately, 2 guns would be recovered from the bedroom and also a bloody knife. But what had happened? Pretty quickly, the woman would be identified as 37-year-old Christine Banfield, an ICU nurse and the mother to the couple's 4-year-old daughter, who had been downstairs in the basement the entire time. The man who lay just a few feet away from Christine, who'd been shot to death, was 39-year-old Joseph Ryan. Now, right away, investigators spoke to Brendan Banfield, and they found out that he was an IRS special agent, and he was Christine's husband. He explained that he'd come home to find a stranger, Joseph Ryan, stabbing his wife with a knife, that in response, he'd shot him to save her life. The couple's au pair, Juliana Perez Magalhaes, told police the same thing and added that she had also shot the stranger that morning, too, in the chest. This was after Brendan had shot him in the head. Apparently, the stranger was still moving after Brendan had shot him, and so she had shot him in the chest after that. But, something about their story from the very beginning just didn't add up. Or I should say a lot of things weren't adding up. Like the husband. He'd been told to apply pressure to the stab wounds by the 911 operator multiple times.
Okay. They're pulling up outside. Just keep applying pressure to where she's bleeding from and just make sure she's okay.
So why was it then that when the officer who had raced to the scene to try to do everything he could to save lives noticed that when he arrived, that the victim's own husband wasn't even trying to apply pressure to her wounds?
When you entered the room, Mr. Banfield was on his knees next to Christine Banfield, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. But Mr. Banfield wasn't using that blue towel to staunch the bleeding from her neck, is that correct?
Objection to leading, Judge.
It's cross-examination.
It's cross-examination.
I do not believe he was, no.
Okay, and he wasn't using the nearby blankets, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and he wasn't using the sheet?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Nothing further.
Welcome back to Criminal Mischief with Carolyn and Brandon. You're listening to episode 169, The Trial of Brendan Banfield. Okay, so in today's episode, we're going to bring you the latest in a bizarre love triangle, which we previously covered on Criminal Mischief. If you'll recall, this alleged double homicide investigation featured a former IRS special agent who prosecutors theorized had conspired with his family's au pair and lover, Juliana Perez Magalhaes, to kill his wife and Joseph Ryan, who they also planned to frame for her murder. But first, to catch up on the case, I recommend scrolling down in our Criminal Mischief feed to episodes 103, where we first shared the investigation, and again in episode 106, where we shared a breaking news update. Remember, it was 8 months after the killings of Christine Banfield and Joseph Ryan that the au pair was charged with second-degree murder of Joseph Ryan. But people were surprised when Brendan Banfield wasn't arrested. It would take a year, until September 2024, for Brendan Banfield to be arrested and charged with the murders of his wife Christine and Joseph Ryan. He pleaded not guilty. Then, in another twist, just a couple weeks before Juliana's trial was about to begin in October of 2024, it was announced that she had made a plea deal, basically in exchange for her cooperation and testimony against Brendan. Prosecutors downgraded her original second-degree murder charge to involuntary manslaughter. Now, at this time, the Commonwealth's attorney agreed to recommend a sentence of time served. But first, she'd have to testify. Recently, this high-profile and long-awaited trial of Brendan Banfield began with a huge swing from the prosecution during their opening statement, where they laid out a diabolical theory that, if true, is absolutely beyond comprehension.
Brendan Banfield killed his wife, Christine Banfield, and another man named Joseph Ryan. Those two individuals had no reason to know each other, but for the plotting and planning of Brendan Banfield. Christine, back in 2022, was 37 years old. She was an ICU nurse working at Inova Fairfax. She was married to Brendan, who was then 38, and they had a daughter, 4-year-old Valerie. Christine worked odd shifts. If any of you know what nurses' hours are, she could work nights. The schedule was irregular. It didn't occur with a 9-to-5 pattern, so regular daycare was not an option for the family. They hired an au pair, Juliana Perez Magalhães. She was from Brazil. She was 22 years old when she joined the family. She provided care while Brendan traveled for work and Christine worked her nurse's hours. The family lived in the Reston area of Fairfax County. Taking you back, in August of 2022, Brendan began an affair with Juliana. Initially, it was just sex when Christine was at work or asleep, but eventually it developed into a relationship. They went on dates. They went to bars, clubs, dancing. They went on romantic bike rides. By the fall of 2022, they were fully in love, planning their future. On a trip to New York, Brendan revealed his desire to get rid of Christine. Divorce was not an option for him. He didn't want to lose custody of Valerie. He didn't even want to share custody of Valerie. He thought Christine was a terrible mother. He wanted her out of the picture. And he convinced young Juliana, 22 years old, not from the United States, living in his home, in love with him, that they should get rid of Christine. He talked about hiring a hitman, finding someone to kill her for money. But he was concerned that that would tie back to him, that there would be too much evidence against him and that he could end up at risk. So they crafted a plan. They would use Christine's email accounts to create a fake profile to lure someone in who was into kinky sex, violent sex. And they would get this guy to come into the house and fake rape Christine. Brendan would be the hero of the day. He would show up, kill the guy, kill his wife, pretending that it had been that guy. That was the plan. They put it into action. Brendan created a FetLife account. If you're not familiar with it, it's a social networking app for people interested in fetishes, sexual kink. He posted as Christine, seeking fulfillment of this stranger rape fantasy. He and Juliana spent weeks chatting with potential victims, searching for just the right guy who would follow Brendan's plan to a T. Because remember, this plan hinged on several things. Christine never knowing that it existed, and Christine never being expected to meet with her potential fake rapist. In this community of people, there weren't many takers for such a risky plan. It had red flags all over the place. But by January 24th, 2022, Brendan had found his target, Joseph Ryan, posting as Taco Supreme 7000.
So basically, the defense, in their opening statement, stuck to what Brendan had told police, that he killed Joseph Ryan in an attempt to save his wife from a man, Joseph Ryan, who he claimed was stabbing her to death. And the defense also warned the jury not to trust the prosecution's key witness, the au pair, who had a personal interest to flip on his client, Brendan Banfield, who had also, according to him, become a victim of the Commonwealth's tunnel vision.
All they want is to get you in this case. They want me to say things that aren't true. They want me to say things that I did that aren't true. They offered me a misdemeanor. As the case went on, it became very clear that they wanted him so badly that they were willing to do anything. They made offers, not as good as a misdemeanor, but as time went on, for a manslaughter, suspended time, but she had to testify against Brendan. You'll hear there were at least 4 or 5 times during that year leading up to Brendan Banfield being charged where they came to her, they went through her attorney, and they offered that deal that she now stands to have taken. The Commonwealth used her for their case. I understand the situation that she's in, and I understand the fact that she's away from home and she's young and she's dependent on people, and she's also depending on the Commonwealth. And they've put her in this situation, and she's accepted it gladly. And I'm sorry to say, many people would, but it's the devastation that causes when you ask for that kind of testimony to be included in your case.
Right off the bat, the prosecution called Juliana to the stand on day 1, where she started by describing Christine.
Christine was very friendly, very welcoming, very fair.
At first, Juliana said her and Brendan barely spoke.
While you were working for the Banfield family, did your relationship with the defendant change?
Yes, it became sexual, physical relationship.
And do you recall when the relationship changed?
It was August 2022.
And when this relationship began, did you ever think about how it might end?
No, I didn't really think it was serious, a relationship.
Did the defendant ever talk with you about any long-term plans for the two of you?
Not initially.
Did he ever, though?
Yes.
When did that talk start?
It started after he talked about his plan.
Did he ever talk about the two of you getting married or the two of you having children?
Yes.
And do you recall when that talk began?
Also, after he mentioned his plan.
Did he ever talk about his relationship with his wife, Christine Banfield?
Sometimes it would come up in our conversation and he would talk about it. He used to say that she didn't seem to care about where he was, what he was doing. She didn't seem to care about him at all. And that she was helpless and just lazy.
Do you recall when he said those things?
Well, many times during our conversation when she came up.
Did he ever talk about getting a divorce with her?
Basically said divorce was not an option.
Did he say why?
Money was involved and Valerie's custody too. Yeah, he said that he didn't want to have to share Valerie with Christine, that she wasn't good for Valerie. So he wanted to have Valerie full time. And money, because she should have more money than he would if they ever split.
During a romantic getaway to New York City, Brendan shared his plan to kill his wife.
What specifically was his plan to get rid of her?
Initially, he didn't really know what he would do. He just mentioned that he was thinking about it and he would think better and let me know when he thought about it.
Originally, Brendan considered a murder for hire. Juliana said it wasn't long before Brendan told her of a new plan.
He wasn't going to hire anybody because that is something that throughout the investigation can be discovered easily. And that he had heard of a website called Pet Life. He's never done anything on the website, but he heard about it, and that's what he was going to do.
A complicated and grotesque murder plot that involved killing a total stranger. Brendan enlisted a willing Juliana to help create a fake account to FetLife, which is a BDSM website, with his wife's email address.
It was in January when he created the account on the website.
Okay. So, were you present when he created the FetLife account?
Yes.
And did he use his own email address to create the account?
No, he did not.
What email address did he use?
He created a new email account for Christine and Christine's name.
And were you there when he created that email address?
Yeah.
And do you recall what device he used to create the email address?
To her laptop.
And when you say her laptop, whose laptop are you talking about?
Christine's laptop.
And do you recall what device he used to create the FetLife account?
That was the laptop.
And when you say the laptop, are you talking about Christine's laptop?
Yes.
Okay. And do you recall the name of the profile that the defendant created for the FetLife account?
Anastasia Knight.
And was there a photograph added to that profile?
Yes.
Who is the photograph of?
It's Christine's body in a bathing suit.
And who added the photograph to the profile?
Brendan did.
And who typed the words for the profile?
Brendan did.
Okay.
Joseph Ryan believed he was speaking to Christine Banfield, but he's really being catfished by her husband, Brendan.
What is it about Joe's answers and messages that attracted Brendan to selecting Joe? Did he ever tell you?
But he was always making comments like that Joe was the white person.
Did he say why?
Because he seemed to be like the person who would do the things that Brendan needed the person to do.
Joseph Ryan fit Brendan's parameters because with a little convincing from Juliana, who said she talked to him over the phone and pretended to be Christine, it was enough to get Ryan to come over to their house without ever actually meeting Christine in person.
Whoever the person was going to be was supposed to bring all the stuff, like the restraints and or cuffs, whatever the person's supposed to have to bring.
And whose idea was that?
Brendan's.
And what else was the person eventually supposed to bring?
Eventually, you want the person to bring a knife.
According to Juliana, there were also other preparations. Brendan bought her a gun and took her to a shooting range to
From
practice.
Pie in the Sky Media,
He had
Criminal
all the
Mischief
windows
is an
replaced
EVO production,
with thick
recorded
triple
live in the
pane,
beautiful
so the
Pacific
neighbors
Northwest.
wouldn't be
Were
able to
produced by
hear
Brandon Morgan and
Christine's
myself.
screams as she was
Music
being
by
attacked
Soundstripe.
by their patsy,
For EVO
Joseph
Creative,
Ryan,
I'm Carolyn
in what
Osorio,
he believed
your
was a
writer and
consensual
host.
BDSM fantasy made real.
Joe sends a message on February 20th that says, "I'm looking forward to Friday." Who chose February 24th, 2023 as the date?
Brendan.
The morning of the killings, Juliana testified that Brendan used Christine's phone to unlock the front door. He also told Juliana to park her car in the cul-de-sac, even though she usually parked in the driveway in front of the home, to make it appear like no one else was home, other than Christine. Brendan also hid Christine's cell phone in the kitchen so she wouldn't have the ability to call 911.
He was going to go to the McDonald's, say 5-6 minutes away from our house. He had to stay there until whenever I called him.
And what were you supposed to do?
I was supposed to stay in the car with Valerie to put something on her iPad for her to watch. And as soon as I saw Dariah pulling up the driveway, I was supposed to give Christina a call, but her phone would be off, it would go to voicemail, and I was supposed to call him right away and tell him there was somebody strange coming to the house, and that I was scared.
On the stand, Juliana testified to the details of their diabolical and vicious murder plot. Juliana pretended that she was going to take the Banfields' 4-year-old daughter to the zoo. Meantime, Brendan pretended like he was going to work, but made a pit stop at a nearby McDonald's. The McDonald's was just 5 minutes away from their house, and so he waited for a call from Juliana, who had never left to go to the zoo, but was actually parked on the street. And when she saw Joseph Ryan arrive at around 7:20, that's when she called Brendan, which was the trigger for him to race back home. So when Brendan arrives in the neighborhood, he doesn't pull into his driveway, but instead parks out on the street next to the mailboxes. Then he walks up to the house and meets Juliana and his 4-year-old daughter at the home's basement door. They leave the little girl downstairs by herself, and then Brendan and Juliana creep up to the main floor and wait, knowing that Joseph Ryan is upstairs with a sleeping Christine in the main bedroom. When they hear a spanking noise, both Brendan and Juliana walk up the stairs to the second floor where they see Joseph Ryan on top of Christine. It's then that the mastermind of this all too real horror show, according to Juliana, withdraws his service weapon, aims it at Joseph Ryan, and calls out that he's the police.
When I got to the bedroom, Brendan said, "Police officer," and Christine's first reaction, that was the first time I heard she say anything at that point. Then she yelled back at Brendan, saying, "Brendan, he has a knife." And yeah, that's when Brendan first shot Joe.
Did you see Joe before he was shot?
Yeah.
What did he look like when he saw Brendan?
Shocked.
Brendan then jumps onto his wife and begins stabbing her repeatedly in the neck. It's at this time that Juliana says that she noticed that Joseph isn't dead. He begins moving, and so she lifts her gun out of her pocket and delivers a fatal shot to his chest. After that, according to Juliana, Brendan begins staging the crime scene.
A handful of blood, and he starts dripping on Joe's body.
Did you ever call 911 again?
Yeah.
Why did you call 911 again?
I called 911 again when he told me Brendan told me he was ready for me to call.
Now, it's during cross-examination that the defense accused Juliana of regurgitating the prosecution's theory of the catfish murder plot to save her own skin.
What role did the discovery play in the decision to speak yesterday and what you said?
The truth.
Okay, I appreciate that. Was that the truth that was provided by the discovery so you could work for the Commonwealth?
No, the truth was that really happened. I can't make my words fit into the evidence.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is you can make their evidence fit into your words, however.
And a detective testified on the stand that arresting and charging Juliana with Joseph Ryan's murder was all in an effort to get her to flip on Brendan Banfield.
What was the ultimate goal of charging her with murder?
I would say there were several goals that included the fact that evidence supported probable cause to charge her with murder at that time. But based on our investigation, there was belief that there was more to the story that could be elicited from her. And the effect of charging her with a crime was effectively a way to introduce a change in circumstances between her and Brendan Banfield that could lead to the elicitation of more information about what happened.
Okay, so charging her, keeping her in jail, the pressure that would be caused, was that part of the plan?
Yes, in terms of in any type of incident in which you have multiple people involved in the carrying out of that act, there is competing interest between self-interest and cooperation. And by introducing circumstances that would encourage cooperation with law enforcement over cooperation with other parties, it could change the outcome of the investigation, change the amount of information available to us as investigators.
Okay, like a plea agreement to a lesser charge and no further jail time, something like that?
There's a number of different ways that could be accomplished. The ultimate goal could be accomplished.
And that's ultimately what happened, though. That's what caused the change in Juliana Perez Magalhaes.
My understanding is she did at one point cooperate with detectives. I was not involved at that point in the investigation.
And the defense basically insinuated through their questioning of the au pair that the prosecution gave a sweetheart deal to someone who had future plans to profit off the killings, which could be after the trial, if the judge sentences her to time served for the manslaughter plea.
Can you read the highlighted portion to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
Yes, it says, "Yes, let's work together to achieve more things. After a while, when I'm back home, I'll look for a producer and write a book with my story, and maybe even make Even a movie make money, right? Lawyers, producers, everyone tells me to do this, that I have a talent.
Even so, the jury heard Juliana's testimony. Basically, if they believe her story, she represents an eyewitness account of the murder plot and specifically step by step of what happened the day of the killings. But the prosecution has also presented the jury with some powerful physical evidence, like the blood spatter that was examined on the jeans Brendan was wearing the day of the killings that doesn't match his version of the story.
It's going to be Mr. Banfield's blue jeans.
What did you observe about these pants?
Did they have blood stains on them?
All right. Any particular staining patterns that you observed?
There was the blood stains on the knee area, and then there was a particular stain that someone pointed out and they requested for me to submit that to the lab.
Tell me about that stain. Was it different than the staining on the knees?
Most of the stains that you saw in the pants were almost like smears, smudges, like they came in contact with blood. This was droplets.
An expert testified that blood droplets on Joseph Ryan's forearm appeared to have been intentionally dripped from above, and that Ryan's head appeared to have been moved while blood was still wet. And finger-shaped transfer bloodstains containing Christine's DNA were recovered from Ryan's jeans, suggesting he was moved by someone with blood on their hands. Again, this blood evidence doesn't support that Brendan was the hero that day. It supports Juliana's testimony that Joseph Ryan was shot and Christine was then stabbed and that their bodies were manipulated. And also there was digital evidence in this case. The prosecution introduced logs from FetLife and Telegram showing luring messages sent to Joseph Ryan. They also showed that whenever Juliana and Brendan were out of town together, that Christine never logged into FetLife or Telegram. If you'll recall, Juliana testified that they only logged into these fake accounts when they were home at the same time Christine was, so that the electronic records showed that she was home when they were on her computer catfishing potential victims. These records undermined the defense's claim that Christine was the one using the accounts. The defense also has drawn jurors' attention to a potential rift within the Fairfax County Police Department over early theories in the case. Here's a detective being cross-examined by the defense.
Did there come a time when supervisors were suggesting theories to the homicide investigators in this case?
We had a briefing within the first week of the incident where we were discussing everything that everybody had done and the information that was collected. And our supervisor at the time told us there were two theories in the case and we needed to get behind the right one.
Who was the supervisor?
Lieutenant Smug.
Okay. Who was in the room?
The homicide investigators, the detectives.
Was one of those theories catfishing?
It wasn't stated what the theory was. It just said there were two theories and you need to get behind the right one.
Okay, at some point in order to get behind it, you had to know what it was. When did you find out?
I'm not sure who said exactly that it was catfishing, that was what it was. That's just what I had begun to understand and hear from other people.
What, if anything, did you do, given what you just testified to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury about your methodology? What, if anything, did you do or say after hearing that?
I told Lieutenant Smuck in the room full of investigators that at this point in time, nobody should have a theory in the case, that we are still at the very beginning and we should only be investigating and gathering facts and information.
And how was that received?
There was no response.
Were you ever feeling pressure to follow a theory instead of evidence in this case?
I did not.
You spoke out about it, correct?
Yes.
Did you feel pressure by command after you spoke out about it?
No, I did not feel pressure. I know what I have to do as an investigator. I know how to investigate, and no matter what they thought or the theories they wanted to put forward, that was not how I was going to investigate or provide mentorship or counsel to other investigators on the squad.
Did you raise that with other investigators, the appropriateness of command staff suggesting theories?
Yes.
And did you address that with the group?
Individually, as a group, yes.
So, the trial is nearing its final stages, and Brendan Banfield is expected to take the stand this week. as the defense's last witness, and we will continue to update you on the latest. But stick around, because up next, in our Criminal Mischief bonus content, my co-host Brandon and I will discuss the case in more detail. And as always, thanks for listening.
From Pie in the Sky Media, Criminal Mischief is an EVO production, recorded live in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. We're produced by Brandon Morgan and myself, music by Soundstripe. For EVO Creative, I'm Carolyn Osorio, your writer and host.